Hello friends, and welcome back to Stalker Anomaly. Grok and the Gamma team have been hard at work fixing bugs, testing changes, and integrating the various add-ons that the community has voted to include. There are truly a vast number of changes that you'll need to get to grips with, but today I want to start by focusing on the new mods that are coming to Gamma in version 091. The Indirect Parts Favoritor is a recent release by G-Flat, and it's quickly made a place for itself in my mod list. It adds a context menu option that lets you tag an item's individual parts as a sorting plus favorite, which will then be highlighted in your inventory. It's invaluable when you're looking for specific parts to get your gun in working order, especially if you're hoarding a lot of them in your stash like I am. Fair Fast Travel is the new face of fast travel in Gamma 091, and it adds a ton of customization and balance features that let you make fast travel work exactly the way you want. To get you started, Gamma has its own hand-picked default settings. All cooldowns have been removed, but all travel types are now more expensive, with backpack travel being the cheapest, and the new guide travel feature being the most expensive. But hiring a guide ignores injured and overweight statuses, allowing you to move your entire base at once. Travel times and costs now scale better with distance as well, and every one of these details is customizable. I talked about this add-on at length in a recent video, so go check that out for details. Personal Adjustable Waypoint is another of mine, and it's no exaggeration to say that it allows you to make Stalker's map your own. Set a customizable waypoint anywhere that behaves like a quest marker, and annotate the map with a large selection of pins and icons, which you can label or remove at any time. You can organize the icons into sets that make sense to you or add your own. It also integrates with my MilSpec PDA add-on if you have that, allowing you to control what icons are used for dead bodies on the minimap. It's extremely powerful, deeply customizable in MCM, and comes with its own skinnable HUD widget that has a Gamma theme included. Auto-stacking items is great if you spend a lot of time combining multi-use items, and I can definitely see its use. However, I don't think I'll be using it personally. There are times when I want my items to stay separated, and it's also overshadowed by one of the features in another new add-on, Utjan's Quality of Life bundle. This one is fantastic. As I showed in my first community mods video, one of its UI tweaks causes stacks of multi-use items to show their total number of uses, not the number of items. It also adds other things like flagging quest items in your inventory and telling you whether you have them when accepting jobs. And it pairs very well with their Item UI Improvements add-on, which among other things, lets you show condition as a percentage and adds colored indicators to show parts condition on the inventory icon. It also adds these contrasting backgrounds to icon text, but I don't really like those. I don't like the way they block the icon itself, and thankfully you can turn off most of them. Semi-Radiant AI gives NPCs work and sleep schedules, intended to make the zone's population feel more dynamic and natural. This also has side benefits for stealth and night operations, which might let a Cheeki Breeki Night Stalker catch their enemies unaware. But they might do the same to you, because some Stalkers have finally figured out that their headlamps give away their positions. Higher ranked Stalkers will use non-lootable night vision instead of turning on a beacon that says, "Please gank." If you've seen my Brain Scorcher video, you know how easy it can be to cheese it with IEDs, or even just by rushing the switch and shooting your way out. With defended Lab X10, the Monolith ambush will now be waiting for you when you get there. The time limit's been increased, but you still only have 7 minutes to fight your way to the bottom through a horde of Monolith. Try not to die. If you do though, there's the new Soulslike game mode. This isn't going to be for everyone, but it is a very cool idea. When you die, you're rescued by a random Stalker in the zone, and return to your last bed or campfire. Some or all of your gear has been dropped as a stash where you fell, and both it and you are a bit worse for wear, but you have a second chance once you get your stuff back. The black market brings weapon trading back to Gamma, but balances it by restricting who will buy what, and dramatically reducing what Stalkers will pay for guns. For most weapons, you'll have to repair them first, and you'll need to find someone who actually wants that kind. Finally, Gamma has brought on some of the truly incredible work released by the talented artists and 3D modelers in the community. I've already been playing with the alternative Boars, Fleshes, and Cats from Kind's Peace, and those with a sharp eye may have even seen them in previous videos. They're so good that everyone should use them. They really bring these mutants to life in high quality while staying true to Anomaly's aesthetic. And if you like guns, well, Gamma has a bunch of new eye candy for you. All of these add-ons are available for use in vanilla Anomaly, not just Gamma. The Gamma-specific changes are many, and they touch nearly every part of the game. Balance changes have been made to what you can find in green and white stashes, and where and how those stashes will be generated, as well as various other changes to rewards and progression throughout the game. Green stashes are now the main source of tools, and stash contents in the north are very different than in the newbie areas. And speaking of which, the center zona just got a lot more dangerous. Spawn timers are shorter with stronger mutants, and packs of them. Sin and ISG are now much bigger players in the north, and they should now be serious threats, especially with fixes to the controversial combat teleport that ISG gets. I personally think that kind of magic NPC cheating is total bullshit and disable it, but it should work better now if you like that sort of thing. The rise in danger level goes for the environment as well. Progression in the north is now hard-gated behind deactivating the Miracle Machine, as the northern psi field will now kill you in 3 hits, bypassing all resistance. You won't be able to cheese it with psi block. On which note, psi resistance and psi damage have themselves undergone an overhaul. When receiving psi damage, your vision will blur and your heartbeat will speed up briefly. Psi damage also now scales with difficulty, and meds for both resistance and recovery have been rebalanced. Psi damage will also no longer affect limb health. NPCs in general have also been rebalanced, with bandit trash being a bit easier, but a buff given to the factions you'd expect. Artifacts and tasks have also seen a lot of changes. To name just a few, easy quests like Rostock Mutants should both be less common, less rewarding, and harder to cheese, while new quests have been added to various factions and NPCs. If you ever wanted to become a drug dealer for freedom, this might be your chance. But be careful what tasks you pick up. Some factions are a lot less tolerant of stalkers who work for their enemies. Bringing guns to a faction's mortal enemy or doing violent quests for them will cost you some goodwill, and even worse, killing allies or neutral stalkers will now incur a massive hit to both goodwill and your own reputation. Murder hobos beware. I won't go into all the miscellaneous bug fixes and tweaks because there are a ton of them, but I want to call out a few in particular. For one thing, the game executable has been updated to the 2023-0906 build of demonized modded binaries, bringing with it various improvements such as mouse wheel script support, and reshade no longer affecting the UI. Gamma also now includes my fix for a long-standing bug in the barrier defense task, which affects vanilla Anomaly as well. If you start this task but then fail it by moving too far away from the barrier, it used to permanently break emissions. With this add-on, that will never happen again. Another thing that will never happen again is having to reload your game, because the workshop UI has a tooltip stuck in the foreground. Other parts of the UI itself have also gotten a touch-up, with updates to the crepice icons and a retexture of the ammo wheel. The ammo wheel also won't show old ammo anymore. Speaking of ammo, all types have a bit more air resistance and bullet drop. This makes flatness upgrades especially important for subsonic rounds like 9x39. Damage from sniper rounds has been reduced just a little, while 45 ACP and 5.7 rounds have gotten a buff. Buckshot is now more expensive and harder to craft. And for that matter, crafting has been tweaked across the board, with many changes both big and small. Some recipes are harder to find, some are easier, and many material requirements have changed. All NPC vices are now free to use, and hideout furniture has gotten an update as well, with a compatibility patch that lets you use the latest versions with Gamma. There have also been some revisions to gunplay and NPC armor, with base aim shake and jamming chances both being raised, and a score of minor adjustments to recoil and other stats for certain weapons. NPCs will now try to seek nearby cover based on the direction from which they think they're taking fire, and they'll react much more quickly to being shot at or having their squad members taken out. NPCs will take less damage to their extremities, and damage reduction has been divided into head, body, and leg zones. Successive hits to a spot will reduce protection in that area, and once you've blasted a hole in their armor, they'll take full damage there. And that's just the beginning. This update is huge, and I hope you found this overview informative. It isn't really meant to be a deep dive, so I've linked the patch notes in the description. Check them out for more details while you're waiting for the game to update. You'll need to download the new launcher for that if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.